Yeah, welcome. I'll give it a few seconds, let some people trickle in before I get started here. Okay, I think we're ready to rock. What if you could invest early in the quantum technologies that will unlock solutions to some of humanity's most complex problems, from unbreakable cybersecurity to breakthrough drug discovery? You'll learn today how quantum computing is transitioning from theoretical promise to commercial reality across hardware, software, and breakthrough applications, with major players like Google, IBM, and Northrop Grumman validating the market. Investing in quantum isn't just positioning yourself at technology's cutting edge, it's about backing the foundational infrastructure that will power the next generation of computing as quantum crosses into mainstream adoption. So now let's hop over to AV's managing partner, Chris Clarin, to dive into all things quantum.
I'm Chris Clarin, managing partner here at Alumni Ventures. Today, we're going to explore why now is the right moment to invest in quantum technologies and how Alumni Ventures is positioned at the forefront of this revolution. Before we dive in here, a quick note. This presentation is for informational purposes only and is not an offer to buy or sell securities. Any investment we made solely through our formal offering documents. Venture investing involves risk, including potential loss of capital, so please review all the materials carefully before investing. Please feel free to scan the QR code on your screen for details on how to join us in this journey and join our Alumni Ventures Quantum Syndicate. All right, so quick introduction. Let's meet the presenter. I'm Chris Clarin. I've been a venture investor for over 20 years. I'm currently the Caster Ventures at Alumni Ventures, the fund for MIT alumni, friends, family, community. Before venture capital, I worked as an engineer and a sales engineer out of MIT. And I was in several high growth startups in and around the Boston area. A couple went public. One of them was bought 3-4 times. I went out to grad school in California while still working and got my MBA out at University of California, Berkeley's Haas School of Business. A little bit about Alumni Ventures, a snapshot on us. We've been around since 2014 to make venture capital accessible to individual accredited investors. To date, now here through 2025, we've raised over $1.5 billion from more than 11,000 investors and built a portfolio across all of our different funds of 1,600 plus companies, making us one of the most active venture firms globally, and I think the largest in the US for individual investors. We've earned recognition, not just from venture databases, but from major national media. Time Magazine named Alumni Ventures recently as one of America's top 20 venture capital firms. And we were the only VC in that top 50 purely focused on individual investors. Stanford Graduate School of Business ranked us among the top 50 unicorn investors. CB Insights placed us in the top 20 VCs in North America based on portfolio performance and deal activity. And PitchBook consistently has ranked us among the most active venture firms in the US, top 10 or better year after year. What these accolades show is not just momentum, they really validate the durability of our model. Connected capital, we have access, rigor, and returns. But more than the accolades, what matters most is our ability to consistently access top-tier deals, and then alongside great firms like Sequoia, Andreessen Horowitz, and offer that access to our investor community. So how do you invest with us, and what's this quantum computing syndicate? Our quantum computing syndicate is available, and you can co-invest alongside us with leading venture firms in high potential startup deals. Members get access to diligence materials. Typically, we do syndications on these deals 1 to 2 times potentially a month, and there's flexibility to invest deal by deal when you join the syndicate, typically starting with each deal at $10,000 per deal. Signing up to the quantum syndicate is free. Investing is optional. You can just get in there and start learning. And it's all about getting smart and getting access and getting involved. Like I said earlier, scan that QR code on your screen if you want to learn more. So let's start here with a quick reality check. Everybody's always been saying the idea of quantum is 20 years away over and over again. But really today, that is no longer defensible. Google had its announcement last year, December 9th, 2024, for the Willow chip, and that marked a tangible step forward towards scalable error correction in the quantum space. IBM isn't just hosting quantum devices in the cloud, it's actively pushing toward fault-tolerant architecture. In June 2025, IBM publicized a detailed roadmap aiming to deliver its first large-scale fault-tolerant quantum computer, codenamed Starling, by 2029. IBM also recently committed to build a modular error-corrected scaling path, introducing intermediate processor designs that bridge towards Starling. And together, these developments show that IBM is not merely a service provider, it's engineering next generation of quantum hardware and error correction infrastructure. So the future isn't decades away, it's actively being built. There are two quantum universes I want to talk about. They often mix two very different domains, quantum computing and quantum sensing. So quantum computing, early stage, but transformational technology. There's potential there to break through cybersecurity, chemistry, biomedicine. Really could be tremendous world-changing technology. Quantum sensing, on the other hand, is commercially ready and growing fast. So there are techniques and uses of that in position, navigation, surveillance, medical diagnostics. There are companies that are like Vector Atomic that are already shipping products. And Alumni Ventures invests across both universes, both quantum computing and quantum sensing. So we're diversifying across timelines and technologies. So why does this matter? You always have to ask that question, so what, whenever you're looking at a venture opportunity. Why does this matter to things like cybersecurity, GPS, materials discovery, market sizes? So quantum threatens to break certain high-level encryption. There's a cybersecurity crisis in the making here. So that's why it matters to sort of get in on some of this technology early. GPS-denied navigation is critical for aviation defense to have some kind of navigation, especially if there's a GPS-denied environment. And quantum sensors can enable that to happen. In materials discovery, quantum accelerates the design of enzymes, catalysts, and superconductors. And these aren't theoretical opportunities. People are working on these kind of trillion-dollar challenges right now and using these quantum technologies, quantum sensing to do this. So the big players are all in. We've listed out a bunch of them here, Google, IBM, Northrop Grumman, IonQ, heavily invested. Private funding is booming too. A couple examples, PsiQuantum has raised $1.3 billion. QEra has raised 280 million plus. Enterprises like Volkswagen, BMW, Rolls-Royce are integrating quantum tools. But the key insight here really is the real innovation is happening at startups, not necessarily the incumbents. That's where the venture investors can possibly do really big wins. Alumni Ventures is building a full stack portfolio in the quantum space. We have companies spanning hardware, software, and applications. On the hardware side, we've listed three here, Atom Computing, or listed two here, sorry, Atom Computing and Xanadu. On the software side, Q-Control, Classique, and Kedma, and in applications, both on Q-Sci. So this approach assures that we can potentially win regardless of which platform or architecture dominates the space. Let's jump into a little bit about each of these in a little more detail. So for now, let's zoom in on Q-Control, one of the portfolio companies. Quantum systems are fragile and error-prone. Q-Control is providing software layer that suppresses errors across all platforms. They have current partners, IBM, IonQ, and Deloitte. They're working with NASA on GPS-denied navigation. It's a classic picks and shovels play, if you will. They're an infrastructure layer that every quantum ecosystem really needs. That's their story. Beyond Q-Control, the portfolio includes these other four we've listed on the slide. Xanadu, they've achieved quantum supremacy. They have the Penny Lane software library, the most used quantum ML framework, backed by Bessemer and Georgian partners. Atom Computing, record-setting 1180 qubit neutral atom system maker. Classique, creator of a high-level programming language for quantum computing. And Kedma, Israeli startup, quantum error correction software and error mitigation software. Interesting company, and just did a Series A round there with Willow Capital in Israel and IBM Ventures. So typically our investment thesis here in quantum rests on 4 pillars here. Market timing, commercial inflection is happening now. So let's get in there and find these companies that are making headway. Enterprise traction, right? There are real customers out there. There's real revenue. Defensible positions, patent protected technology. The technology is differentiated. And asymmetric upside. There's potential here for very large returns as quantum crosses into mainstream adoption. So you got the typical venture return, everyone looking for a 10x, but I think sometimes here there might be the potential, as we listed, for the 100x's. Those certainly could be possible if you get in early on a seed deal and that seed deal takes off down the road. So as a quick call to action here and closing, we'd love to be your venture partner. Love you to join our Quantum Syndicate. Scan that QR code to learn more. If you're ready for the next steps, you can just do that. Full service, if you want to talk to Dan, Stacy, Darren, they'd love to chat with you about this area of expertise as well, and fill you in more on what our Quantum Syndicate do. And I think we got time now for a little bit of Q&A. Let me just do the quick disclosures here. For more details, please review the formal offering documents and disclosures at avfunds.com/disclosures. Again, venture investing involves substantial risk, including the potential loss of capital, and should be considered long-term and illiquid. So I'm going to jump back to the Q&A. I'll just leave this on our ready for next step slide. So Q&A, we got some questions? It looks like we do. We received some great questions here from the audience. Let's tackle 3 or 4 of them if we've got time. First question, oh yeah, this one pretty good. Can I invest through a retirement account? Yeah, this is a great question. Get this question all the time. Most people just do straight cash investments, but yes, accredited investors can often use self-directed individual retirement accounts to invest with us through our products. So just reach out, Stacy, Dan, and Darren can give you more information about that. And you can set up a self-directed account and use that to invest in venture as well. Let's see here. Question 2, what's stopping Google or IBM from dominating this market? Well, that's a great question. They are huge companies with a lot of resources, but I'd say innovation in quantum is happening in startups. The incumbents often rely on them for their breakthroughs. Look back and see that IBM Ventures, for instance, is in a co-investor in one of our quantum companies. They're out there also investing in these companies, looking to see if they can pick some winners in technology. And maybe down the road, that's a possible exit for one of these companies. But I would say that a lot of the innovation is happening in startups. Question 3, should I invest deal by deal or through a fund? Yeah, the AV syndicate, the quantum syndicate lets you choose. You can review diligence on each deal and invest where you have convictions, starting at $10,000 per deal. So you're basically creating your own fund of deals and just do them one by one. Happily, you can do that. If you choose to do fund investing, Stacy, Dan, and Darren can talk to you about fund investing as well, if that's something more interesting to you and you don't want to do the work of looking at deals one by one. Let's see, we got any more? Yeah, there's another great question here. Quantum sensing sounds ready now, so why do I need quantum computing exposure? Great question, and you're absolutely right. Quantum sensing, as we said earlier in the slide presentation, is commercially ready today. Companies like Vector Atomic already shipping systems using navigation, defense, medical diagnostics. But I'd say quantum computing represents exponential upside. Think of sensing as a first wave of commercialization, generate revenue now, proving real world utility. Quantum computing, meanwhile, is the next wave. It's where the asymmetric return potential lies. So invest across both domains. I'd say you're hedging your timing risk. Quantum sensing, near-term traction and revenue. Quantum computing provides long-term transformative upside. So in venture capital, I'd say the best portfolio blends the now with the next. And that's exactly what you would do here with quantum portfolio using sensing and quantum computing. And then you can sort of have a portfolio that wins regardless of which approach might dominate. All right, I think that's all the questions we got for now. So thank you again so much for everyone joining us, and scan that QR code to learn more about our Quantum Syndicate.
Thanks, Chris. That was great. Quantum isn't science fiction. It's the new foundation for solving problems once thought impossible. Thanks for joining us, and if you're ready to invest in technologies redefining what's possible in computing, medicine, security, and beyond, scan the QR code or visit av.vc to get started. And we will see you next time.